Every single day, outside a sea-facing mansion in Mumbai, thousands of people gather. They wait for hours behind heavy barricades, enduring heat and monsoon rains, just for a brief glimpse of one man standing on a balcony. We live in an era where fame is cheap and temporary. Viral stars often disappear in a matter of months. Yet the man on that balcony has commanded absolute attention for 3 decades. This chart tracks cultural relevance over time. The typical celebrity arc spikes quickly and fades almost immediately. But Shah Rukh Khan's trajectory defies the math. He has maintained peak cultural dominance for 3 decades. Longevity like this does not happen by accident. He maintains this position through a meticulously engineered campaign. When he first arrived in this city, he should have been swallowed whole. He was a young man carrying the fresh grief of losing both his parents. He had no industry connections, no money, and no famous surname to open doors. He discarded the myth of accidental discovery. He waged a calculated, desperate fight for survival by an outsider who had nothing left to lose. He channeled that underlying grief and weaponized it. He threw himself into early television roles, working with a manic, relentless energy. The work became his primary coping mechanism. Instead of waiting for a traditional romantic lead to launch his film career, he accepted the scripts that established, comfortable actors were terrified to touch. He had no reputation to protect. That deep desperation gave him a unique appetite for risk, setting the stage for his first major disruption of the industry. In the early 1990s, Indian cinema operated on a strict formula. The box office belonged to safe, morally flawless protagonists. Heroes were righteous, predictable, and almost exclusively came from established film families. He bypassed that formula by signing on to play obsessive, terrifying psychopaths in films like Dar and Bazigar. Playing a murderous stalker was considered professional suicide. That something unusual happened in the theaters. Audiences rooted for him. His raw, frantic energy subverted the traditional model completely. That massive gamble forced the closed-off industry to bend. The terrifying outsider became an undeniable star. He refused to wait for a seat at the establishment's table. Instead, he flipped the table entirely, proving that capturing audience obsession outmaneuvers industry pedigree. Sudden, massive stardom in India acts as an overwhelming, isolating force. The absolute lack of privacy and constant media frenzy easily turns psychologically destructive. Through that chaos, his marriage to Gauri Khan provided a quiet, consistent counterbalance. She remained separate from the industry's echo chamber. His on-screen persona sold grand illusions and larger-than-life drama. His off-screen anchor ensured he maintained a firm grip on reality, a crucial psychological foundation for surviving decades in the spotlight. As his influence grew, he recognized a hard truth about his profession. An actor's income and cultural relevance are always rented. True, lasting power requires owning equity. He established Red Chillies Entertainment to control the entire production pipeline. This allowed him to own the visual effects studios used to build modern blockbusters, shifting his power from an actor's salary to the owner's equity. Then he expanded outside of cinema. He acquired the Kolkata Knight Riders cricket franchise, entering the highly lucrative world of global sports broadcasting. This chart breaks down that diversification. Film production, VFX studios, a sports franchise, and endorsements stacked together, building an enterprise valued around 12,490 crore rupees. These assets operate continuously, generating wealth independent of how his latest movie performs on opening weekend. He built a financial and corporate fortress around himself. Even if audience tastes shifted, the empire he engineered would remain secure. In the late 2010s, that security was severely tested. Audience tastes shifted sharply. He faced a string of critical and commercial failures at the box office. The media narrative was swift. Headlines declared the end of his era, rushing to crown a younger generation of stars to take his place. For an aging icon, facing the prospect of being forgotten brings an intense, suffocating isolation. The roar of the crowd is replaced by empty silence. True permanence is never tested by how fast a star rises. It is tested by whether they can survive the moment the cultural spotlight finally turns away. After a 4-year hiatus, he returned in 2023. He released back-to-back films that shattered existing box office records. The global ticket sales reached levels unseen in the history of the industry, ending the speculation regarding his decline. The films functioned as a forceful reclamation of his cultural throne. This return was supported by his own production house and VFX teams, allowing him to bypass the standard industry gatekeepers. He utilized a 30-year-old network of global fan clubs and corporate partners to ensure the comeback was a financial certainty before a single ticket was sold. The crowds returning to the barricades outside his home stand as a physical testament to an unbreakable cultural bond. He arrived in Mumbai with nothing but the grief of losing his parents. Over 30 years, he converted that loss into a permanent, multi-billion-dollar institution. His legacy is defined by an uncompromising, decades-long refusal to be erased from history.